Hello, I am Addie, and this is Rack. I made her years and years ago, but today I'm going to remake her. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time. She's like my first fursuit, my first persona, but I'm finally going to make her out of foam. The main things I want to keep is, of course, her, and also the moving jaw, just because I love the moving jaw. I can't do this one because, I can't keep doing this. She's gonna die. And besides, she won't go together with, the rest of the fursuit I have planned. So, this is part 1. I am only doing the foam head and the taping today, and in my next video, I will do the furring. If you want to see that, I recommend subscribing. I plan on doing more like this, but also other stuff, like art, maybe video games, I have no clue. I hope you like this. Also, I'm selling a fursuit at the end of this, so give me money and I give you fluffy costume. I think it's a fair trade. Can you tell I don't know how to do YouTube? I am starting with a regular dino mask that I have already customized but no longer need. The reason I am using a dino mask, even though I eventually want this to be basically all foam, at least on the outside, is because I've always found them extremely comfortable, and the jaw movement has always worked extremely well, and if I want a moving jaw, this was just the cheapest and easiest solution for me. This probably won't work for most people because the dino masks are made for children, but I have a very small head, so it fits me perfectly. For the bucket head, I'm using a pattern I got from Kloof Suits off Etsy for my first fursuit. It's the only part of their pattern that I use, but I just thought I'd let you guys know. Forgive me because the lighting is terrible. It does get slightly better as the video goes on, and by the end I finally figured out how to use a tripod, so it does get better. What I'm doing here, and I do this for every single piece I make, is I start by making a basic pattern out of tape the same way you do for fur. The reason I do this is because then I can flip it over and I know my pieces will be exactly symmetrical when I carve them onto the foam. You can see I started with the eyebrow piece just because it would be the simplest before I realized I would have to go on to the muzzle. I just have 2 long pieces squished together and I make sure I only glue them to the top half of the mask so that the jaw moves correctly. My camera then died, so I didn't get a recording of me making the rest of it or the entire bottom jaw. And then I did a test of it, but I didn't realize that my camera doesn't have working audio, so you'll see me just talking and no sound, so this is me talking now. But the jaw moves pretty well. You'll see later that I go and make sure that, as it moves, the foam doesn't, slide against itself at all, because I want to have really good movement, because I like being able to talk. It was one of my favorite bits about the old dino mask. This is what I was talking about, by the way, with making sure the foam doesn't rub against itself. As the foam bends, it's not going to hit more foam. It has full freedom of movement. The cheeks do overlap it, but because it's not actually touching the bottom jaw, it still has its full degrees of movement. You can see here that I don't actually cut the foam with scissors, but instead I use an overextended box cutter. Scissors are nice, but I lost my regular scissors, so I only have my sewing scissors, so I try to only use those for my fur. And the box cutter is nice because, again, it can be extended, it's much cheaper than scissors, and it's much sharper, and it hurts my hand less. I recommend getting a box cutter. I don't recommend using a hobby knife. It can be useful for some bits, but it doesn't have the thing that the box cutter can do, which is overextend, and I can get through 4 inches of foam with the box cutter, so it is really useful. Most box cutter packaging and warning labels tell you not to overextend it, not only because it could break and fly into your face and cause you to go blind, but also because the reason it can be extended like that is so you have sharpness, and because I use the whole thing at once, it gets dulled a lot more quickly. I actually ended up buying a new box cutter at the end of all of this. While we wait for Past Me to finish carving down this whole thing, I'm going to tell you some lore about this creature. I created Rack around the beginning of 2020. I was bored and I became obsessed with watching YouTube compilations of TikToks of dino masks. I've always been a very artsy and creative person, so I decided I would do this. I came up with this design, which did not stick, and it was heavily inspired by Razor. I didn't own a sewing machine at the time, and I wasn't about to work with fur, so instead I made all of the furry bits out of feathers from Michael's craft store. It only took me 1 weekend to finish her, and it shows that she was sort of rushed. The paint job's all shoddy, but I love her so much. Back to the making of this suit, you'll notice that I use the either super clips or wonder clips to hold the foam together while it's being hot glued. And then the other thing I use are pins. I have pins that I only use for sticking through foam and hot glue, and I make sure they have a really colorful and obvious pin at the end so I can pull them out and I don't end up stabbing myself. It's really nice because I don't want to sit and hold the hot glue in place. You'll see that her eyes are follow me eyes. I designed them myself in Blender and then printed them on my 3D printer. They didn't end up being the exact shape I wanted because I wanted them to have a really sharp angle, and I couldn't do that and still have the follow me effect, so I added in some eyelets. This is when I finally figured out how to use my tripod, and it's when I'm adding the tape to make the fur pattern. Yeah, this is the foam all done. I make sure to pattern the jaw and the rest of the head completely separately so it can still move. Yeah, I do plan on having the fur itself also be separate and only having them connect at one place in the neck and then also on the inside of the head because I really want that good movement. I wrap the neck of my mannequin head in saran wrap so I can have a pattern that also flows with the fur. And then I just continue taping up the head. While I finish the patterning, I'm going to pluck myself. If you want to support this extremely expensive project, I do digital art commissions. I do furries and humanoids. The best way to buy one is on my DeviantArt, but you can also email me here. If you really wanted to support me, I got a pre-made waiting for a home. More info at the end of the vid. Finally, I start patterning all of Rack's markings. I make sure to mark down the color, the fur direction, and I should have marked down how long the fur would be, but I didn't do that. I go back to taping, but this time I'm patterning the inside of the head. I've done linings before, but it's usually just been a bag. This time I want it to actually fit the shape of Rack. And that about wraps up the progress for this video. Alright, now who wants to learn about my last fursuit? This is my banana bunny. Her face and all of her spots are entirely hand sewn. Her eyes are follow me eyes that I modeled myself. She's got a fully lined head, 2 paws, and a matching tail. The tail has a hole in the back for a belt loop to go through, but she does not come with a belt. What she does come with are a bunch of stickers from her, and also 1 free commission from me of whatever you want, and of course rights to the character. The head has a zipper in the back, which keeps it snug while still being able to take on and off, but sometimes fur gets caught in it, so it can take a second to get it off. Here I'm showing off the lining, but also there are several layers of foam in there to keep it snug. It is very tight on me, which is how I like it, but I have a small head, so if you have a larger head, I can just remove one of those foam layers so it fits you. She's $900 plus whatever it will cost to ship it to you. I don't know how much it will be because it depends on how far away you are, but I live under the Great Lakes, so that can give you a bit of an estimate. Email me here if you want her.